What's up guys, welcome to this video where we're going to make a fully functional 2048 game inside Python. So let's jump in. So now let's start a quick overview about the 2048 game. Our projects will contain a const file and a main file, pieces file and tile file. The const file will be necessary for initializing Pygame and initializing the width and height variables, and initializing the screen of Pygame, colors and board. For pieces, it will have a drawing function. For tile, it will contain all the functionalities for the game, such as checking empty tiles and popping out tiles in random spots, move up and move down and move right and move lefts, and checking game over. And all these files and functionalities will be implemented in the main file in order to run our code. So our first step is creating constants. Now I have created this file, const.py. I'm going to import Pygame. PYG. Then I'm gonna initialize it. So pyg.init. After that, let's make our width and height 500, and height also is going to be 500. Let's create our font that we're going to render when we want to draw the full board. So pyg.font we're going to use a font name here, Free Sans bold.ttf. And after that, we're going to choose a size. So for this project, we're going to work with 24. And for colors, I'm gonna put colors in the description, down in the description, so you just have to copy it and paste it, because it is a dictionary of many color values here, and each number will have a color. So for example, here 0, it has a color, 64, and so on. For the screen is equal to pygame.display.setMode width. Let's enter our width and height. And now let's create our board. So first thing, our board will be empty, so it will have just zeros inside. And let's copy it and paste zeros under it. So it's gonna be a 4x4 matrix. Alright, and now we have defined our constant variables. Now let's move to the second step, which is setting up the main class. Now let's create a new file called main.py, and in this file we're going to import everything from const. So from const import everything, and we mean everything here by the star. The star means everything. And then we're going to create a class called main. And let's create a run variable, and run is going to be a boolean value which is true. And while we are running, run, let's fill our screen. So we're going to fill our screen with a background color. So screen.fill colors, and let's pass here background. And after that, let's create a for loop for e in pygame.get pygame.events.get if e.type is equal to pygame.quit, then we're going to stop running our program. Run equal false. And this for loop here, it's doing the job of quitting the game. So when you want to quit the game, this for loop works here. And after that, let's display. So pygame.display.flip. And then we're going to quit. .quit. And let's call our main class. Now when we run our program, we should see a window. I think there's a problem here. Oh, so I see the problem. We should have make these right here. So let's place them. And now when we run, it's working. It's giving us a window with a beige background color. Now our next step is to draw pieces. So let's go and make a new file called pieces. So pieces.py. Now what are we going to do is we're going to import everything from const file. So from const import everything. And let's make a class for pieces. So class pieces, and let's make a function for drawing in order to have our complete board. So def draw and pass. Now what we should do is we should loop through the board and start drawing. So what are we going to do is we're going to do a for loop for I in range 4, for G in range 4 as well. Pygame.draw rectangles.rects. We're going to draw rectangles inside our board. And let's pass our screen. Let's pass our colors. So color is going to be board.ij, because each number will have a unique color. And now let's add coordinates. So for coordinates, we're going to pass G times 127 plus 10. So now what this for loop will do? It will iterate through inside the board, and it will start at G equals 0. Now when G equals 0, we're going to start at 10 pixels from the border of the board, and for 1 we're going to start from 127, and we will have this 10 space. So the space is equal to 10 from each tile. Let's continue now to the I coordinates. So I times 127 plus 10. And let's pass a rect value, so 100 and 100 again. Now let's pass a width, so our width will be 0, and border radius is gonna be a bit of radius, so we're going to pass 10. And then we're going to do a condition for the value of the text. So the color of the text. So if the board .ig is bigger than 4, then the text will have a light text. If not, a dark text. So let's implement this. Board IG bigger than 4. Value, let's do a variable equal value color is equal to colors light text else value color equal to colors dark text. Now we've did these conditions. Now if the number inside is bigger than 0, then we should have a value length. So value length equal to len str board ig. And what does this value length does is it calculates the length of the number. So for example, if we have 2048 number, its length is bigger than 2 or 4 or 8. So we have to calculate the value length in order to customize the size of it inside our tile, in order to have a good size and not coming out from borders. And let's pass a font variable. This font variable is equal to pygame.font. Let's pass our .ttf and let's pass our size of the font. So each number will have a specific size. So let's do 15 times 5 times value length. Oh, sorry, I did a mistake here, so I should do minus. So this is the size of our text. So each value length will have a specific size in order to match the tile, the size of the tile. And next, we're going to do a value text. Value text is equal to font. We're going to render it. So font dot render. Render the text inside the board. Let's pass a boolean, true, and a value color. So this is the value color. And next let's do a text rectangle. Text rect equal to value text dot get rectangle, get rect. Let's center it. Center is equal to this. What we pass here, we're going to do it again. So let's copy this. Let's do it inside the brackets, so like this. And let's change just the 10. We're going to make it 57. And now let's draw our rectangles. We're going to have a rectangle, just a small rectangle, an outline rectangle which is black. Let's pass our screen. Let's pass the color black. So this is just an outline rectangle in order to make it more beautiful, make the tile more beautiful. And let's pass some coordinates. We're going to pass the coordinates here, exactly. We're going to pass them inside these brackets, like so. And now the final step is blitzing everything through the screen. So screen.blitz value text and text rectangle. Oh, I did a mistake here, so str. Sorry. Now let's go to the main and let's import everything from pieces. So from pieces, import everything. And now let's call our function. Let's call our draw function. So let's type tile, not tile, pieces. Oh, sorry, pieces dot draw. So it's right. Now when we run our program, we should see a full board. And as you can see here, we've got our board with these tiles here, with these rectangles. Now if I went and change a number inside here, let's do, for example, 2048. It's a big number. Oh, we've got a problem. Okay, so now I know what is the problem. I think the problem is from this outline rectangle. So I have to pass 100 and 100 for the width, for the rect value, as it is here, and then pass the width, which is 2, and the border radius, which is 10. Now when we call and when we run our program, we should see here a 2048 right inside the tile and an outline, beautiful outline, black color. So our fourth step is going to be a bit technical, which is popping out 2 in 2 random spots. So to do that, we should create a new file called tile. So tile.py. Of course, we should import everything from const again because it has all constant variables that we're going to use. From const import everything, and we're going to use also random, so import random. Now let's create our class, which is tile. Now what are we going to do? Now at first we're going to check empty. So we're going to check if the board is empty, which means there are no values inside the board, there are just zeros. If it's empty, we're going to pop out two numbers in two random spots. So let's check empty board. So let's do a function called check empty. And we're going to return all pieces equal 0. So we're going to do all elements, which is we're going to just type e equal to 0 for row in board, and for e in row. So that's our boolean value. Now when we have checked, we should pop out 2. So we're going to do a pop variable, so def pop. We're going to use a variable called count in order to pop just once. It's really important that counts, because if it wasn't, the board is going to get full of 2s and 4s, and we don't want that. So count equals 0. Now let's do a for loop for I in range 4, for j in range 4, r equal random. So this r here, it's for random row. So we're going to choose a random row. So random dot randint from 0 to 3. And for columns, we're going to choose also random column. So random.randint 0 to 3. If board RC, so if the position of the random row and random column is empty, is equal to 0, and count is less than 1, because we're going to just pop out one element at the time. Now let's increment count by 1, and let's enter a value of 2 or 4 in the board. So at the most of the time, or usually, the board pops out 2, but sometimes it pops out 4. So how are we going to do that? So we're going to do a condition if random dot randint from 0 to 10 equal to 10, we're going to do 4. So by this small chance of popping out 4, we're going to pop up 4. So board RC is equal to 4. And else, if random randint is not just 10, it's any number, we're going to give it a value of 2. So yeah, I think that's all of it. Now let's go to our main and implement what we did. So let's go just under here, and let's do a function if tile. Oh, I have to import from tile everything. So from tile import everything. Now I'll go here and do a condition if tile is empty. You know, if tile.check empty is true, then we're going to pop 2 elements. So we're going to call the function pop twice. So tile.pop, and again tile.pop. And we're going now to just run it and see if it works. Oh, so as you can see here, it works quite well. If I quit and run again, let's see. Alright, it's good. So now we're going to explain moving left. So to move left, we're going to go over 4 steps. So the first step is to remove zeros. So each row that have zeros is gonna be removed and being empty. It will keep just the non-zeros numbers. And the second step is to merge. So we are going to merge and we're going to have a 4. So that's what we want. And we're going, a 0 will be in place of the last 2. So like this. And the final and the next step, this is not the final step, sorry. The next step is to remove zeros. So we're going to remove 0 and we just have 4. And finally, we're going to append zeros. So we're going to append until the length of the row will equal to 4. And this is the algorithm to move left. Let's implement this in code. So now, let's implement the moving left algorithm. First thing that we should do before making our function is to add a condition for event. So if e.type is equal to pygame.keyUp like this, and if event.key is equal to key left pygame.key left, then we're going to pass until we make our function. So we go to the tile file and we create a new function called move left. So first thing we should do is we should delete zeros. So while any 0 in board, we should delete 0. So let's write this, while 0 in board. Oh, I forgot to iterate through rows. So for I in range 4, while 0 in board I, board I dot remove 0. So we have removed 0. Now let's track the columns. So for G in range 4. Oh, sorry, not 4. This should be really special. For G in range length of the board the I minus 1, because we have removed zeros, so the length will be less than 4. So like this. Let's go. If board IG is equal to board IG plus 1. If they are equal, we have to multiply. So board IG, we have to multiply the previous one. Board IG times 2. Like this. And board IG plus 1 will be equal to 0 after we remove it. So again, we remove what we do the same while loop step here. We just copy it and paste it. And we have removed. Now we should append. So while len board I is less than 4, we should append board I dot append 0. And that's it for moving left. Let's go now to the main and pass our moving left function. So tile dot move left. And let's run. Now when we press the left key, so after we press, if you are overwhelmed with these numbers, I just went to the const file and adjust it so to see the clear image of moving left. So let's intend that we are moving left. So I'm moving left right now. When you move left, look what happens. Oh, well, nothing happens actually. There's a bug. For G in range len board. Oh, I know what's the problem. I subtracted from 1 inside the length parentheses. So now if I run again, so as you can see, we have merged successfully. Now for moving right algorithm. It's pretty similar to the moving left, and so the first step is to remove zeros. So again, we remove zeros, and then what we do is we merge, but this time we move the number at the right hand side, and the left hand side we make it equal to 0. And the third step is removing zeros. So we remove zeros again. And the fourth step is to insert zeros. So we're going to insert zeros at the first index, in order to make it at the right. So that's all of moving right. Now let's go and implement this in code. Now let's code moving right. First thing, we should add a condition of events. So if e.key is equal to pygame.key right, and we pass. Now we go to the tile and we define our function. So div move right. So moving right, we should first remove zeros. So for I in range 4, row equal board I. And now we remove, so while 0 in row dot remove 0. So all zeros are removed, should be removed right now. Now let's merge. So for merging, we will do a while loop as well. So let's create a variable called g for columns, and let it equal to len row -1. And after that, we create a while loop. So while g is bigger than 0, if row g is equal to row g -1, we multiply. So row g is multiplied by 2, and row g -1 should equal to 0. And we decrement g by 1. So now we have merged. We should remove again, so we just paste the code up here, right here. I should place it like this. Oh, this is a bit messy. Okay. And now we insert zeros. So while len row is smaller than 4, we insert zeros. So row dot insert 0 0. And that's it for moving right function. Now let's go to our main and let's type tile dot move right. And now when we move right, when we run our program and move right, oh, I see some problem here. Problems, line 45 and move right, row dot insert row. Oh, I did here a mistake, so shouldn't be -1. Now when I run, it works. It works quite well. I can move right and left and right again and left again. It works just super good. Now let's move to the next part. And now for moving up. Here we've got a matrix, and this matrix is our board. As you can see here, there are values and there are zeros and 2 non-zeros here. So we want to move these up. So we want to make the 2 here and the 2, another one right here. So how do we do that? First thing, we take the transpose. So from being like this to this. A transpose is doing a transpose for a matrix in algebra. So what do? Is you take the 0 and you inverse rows and columns. So columns become row and row become column, like this. So we transform from this to this, and then we move left. So we move left. We've got we have two. The two became here, and then what we do again is we transpose again. So when we transpose, things becomes up, and here are our results for moving up. And same thing for moving down. For moving down, there are same steps. We take the transpose and we move left and we move right. We move right instead of left, and then we do the transpose again. They are pretty similar. So that's how you move up and down. Let's code this inside the VS Code. So let's do that. Let's add our condition. Key up. And we pass. Let's add for moving down if e.key equal pygame.move dot key down, like so. Now let's move to our tile and add the function as usual. Move up. So what do? First thing, we said that we should transpose. So let's transpose our matrix by creating a variable called transpose matrix. So transpose matrix is equal to, it is a list of transposed of the transpose of our board. List row for row in zip star board, like this. Oh, sorry, like so. And we assign the values of transpose to the board. So like this, we iterate through the board for I in range 4, for G in range 4, board IG is equal to transpose matrix IG. And now we did our transpose. Now let's move left as we said. So tile.move left. And let's do the transpose again. So we just have to copy this and paste it down like this. And that's all for moving up. Let's do moving down. So this is the transpose again. We have to just move right instead of left. That's all for down. And then we transpose again. So we copy this and paste it down here. Now if we went to the main and write our function, so tile.move up, tile.move down. Hope that works. So when we run, and if we moved up, it moves up. If we move down, it moves down. Up, down, up, down. After we start the next step, we forgot to pop for each move. So tile for pop, top.pop. And let's copy and paste this for each move. So copy here. Copy here. And copy here. Okay. Now what we should do is we should check the game states. So check winning and check game over. So let's check game over first and go to the tile file. Now let's create a new function called game over. So diff game over. First thing, we should check if there is any zeros. So for row in board, if 0 in row, return, we're going to return a boolean which is false. So it's not game over. Now we're going to check if the horizontal line is equal, is there is two equal tiles horizontally or vertically. So to do that, we're going to loop through the board by writing for I in range 3, for G in range 4, if board I G is equal to board I plus 1 G, we return true. We return false. Not true, false. And now let's check horizontally. So for G in range, we're going to start now by G. For G in range 3. For I in range 4. If board IG is equal to board dot I G plus 1, then we return false as well. And one last condition, if we're going to loop through the board and see if one tile is equal to, has a value of 2048. If yes, we're going to return false. So for I in range 4, for G in range 4, if board I G is equal to 2048, then return false. And if none of that, we return true. That's it. So that's it for the game over logic. Now what we can do is I think there's a problem. Nope, we're here. Now what we can do is when we go to the main and type if tile dot game over, so if game over is true, then we're going to do a text that tells you you lost, and if you want to restart, press R, the R key. So let's do that. Let's create a text. So text is equal to font dot render you lost, press R to restart. And then we pass a boolean value, so true, and we want to pass a color, so we're going to make it black. That's it for the text. Let's go to the text rectangle, text rect, text dot get rect. Let's center it. So center equal to width divided by 2 and height divided by 2. So that is the text rectangle. Now let's split everything to the screen. So screen.split text and text rectangle. Now that's it for game over. Okay, so let's do right now an event for R. So let's say if tile game over again, if it's game over, and if e dot key is equal to pygame dot kr. Let's check if that works. Let's check if it prints R. Let's go. I think there's a problem in tile. So what is the problem? IG. Oh, I forgot 2 points right there. So it's just a syntax. Okay, let's see now if we run again. And press R. Oh, it should be game over. So should be game over state. Okay, so it works. It works. If it's e.key equal pygame dot kr, let's restart. So for I in range 4, for G in range 4, board dot I G is equal to 0. Yeah, so that's it for restarting. Now we got the restart function. Now if we want to make the winning logic, so let's do that. Let's do a for loop. So iterate through for I in range for G in range 4, if port IG is equal to 2048, then we want to do like these steps. Want to make a text and say that you have win, we have win, and yeah, let's type here you win, press R to restart. And let's change the color, so let's make it gold. So let's copy the 2048 color and let's paste it here. So like this, Control V. So now when we change the one element inside, so let's make it 2048 and see if it gives me the window of you've win, message that I win. So let's go and see. Yeah, so as you can see here, I got the message that I win, and here's 2048. So let's press R and see if it works. The R key. Oh, I press, nothing works. So I think there is a problem. So I get the idea. So in order to restart in the 24 in winning state, so we want to make a function called winning, for example, and let's copy what we did here for winning algorithm. Let's copy it and paste it there. Okay, and let's return true. Turn false. Now if we went here and say like or tile.winning, oh, I forgot to call the function again here. So let's call it tile.winning. So they tell me that I win. Now when I press R, yeah, it restarts. So, and now we've got a complete full game inside Pygame. How cool is that? Look, I can move right down and it pops new twos. So everything is working right. So that's it for today's video, and don't forget to like this video and see you in another interesting project.